Hey there, Tarun Stevenson for the Tarun Stevenson Leadership Channel, and in this episode we're going to be talking about how to become a skillful listener. Such a crucial leadership skill. I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get into it. Okay, in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to become a skillful listener, or 4 tips that you can use to become an artful listener. It is so crucial as a leader to learn how to listen and not just talk. I was watching a reality show recently and it was about fishing, and the captain wanted to talk to his crew. He was unhappy with the way the crew was performing, and he sat down with them and he said, "Now, I want to talk to you, but I don't want you to talk. I just want you to listen." So he said what he had to say. Then he finished the conversation with, "Okay, that's water under the bridge. Let's move on." So he said what he had to say. He didn't listen to his team, and he thought he had resolved everything. The problem was he lost his best deckhand or first mate because that person felt like he hadn't listened. And so you've got to learn how to listen as well as you talk as a leader if you want to keep your teams and you want to keep them engaged. So here are some tips on how to do that. Before I get into it, this episode is brought to you by my free goal setting guide. Why don't you download it? The link is in the description, and that'll really help you. Okay, first thing is this: when you listen to people, is make eye contact. Don't be distracted. Don't look at your phone. Don't look at your computer. Look at people's faces, look at their eyes, and show them that you are actually interested in what they are saying. The art of good listening is really predicated on the understanding that we are not listening to respond, we are listening to understand. And there's a big difference between that. We listen, and at the same time as listening, we think of our next anecdote or our next story or our next response. And you really need to move away from that and move towards intently understanding and listening to what people have to say so that you understand what they're trying to communicate. And the first way you can do that is by maintaining eye contact. Don't be distracted by other things or other people, and show them that you are engaged with them. The second thing is this: lean in, give body language that shows that you are engaged with them. Free your hands of stuff. If you fidget, if you tend to be a fidgeter, free your hands of fidgeting. If you're sitting in front of a laptop, close your laptop case, lean into what they're saying. Try to remove barriers, so try not to sit behind desks too much unless it's the setting is appropriate. Sit beside people, sit in front of people. Just use body language that shows that you're open. Don't cross your arms like that. Just keep your arms by your side, and show an openness and a level of engagement that indicates that you are actually wanting to hear them. Body language that is closed off is not engaged with the person, really just turns them off, and they can tell when you're not listening and when you're not interested in what they are saying. So that's the second one. Use body language and lean into what they're saying. The third thing is this: to ask lots of questions. Don't just listen to respond, but listen to understand. And so to understand, you have to keep asking questions. You have to keep probing deeper into what they're saying. Questions like, "Tell me more about that. Help me to understand what you're saying. I don't quite understand what you're going at here. Oh, is this what you meant?" By learning to listen deeply and ask questions, what you will find is you get a deeper perspective of what the person is talking about. You will be better equipped to respond to them meaningfully, and you won't just be giving them a pat response. And they will actually feel appreciated because you've taken the time to actually hear them and listen to them. The real wake-up call for me on this was a weekend I spent with my best mate. He came up from Melbourne, and he's an incredible listener. And we spent the weekend together, and as I drove him to the airport and I said goodbye, I suddenly realized that I felt like I had talked all weekend, because what he does is he asks me questions, and then he will continue asking questions and keep the conversation about what I'm talking about. He doesn't jump in with his own responses. He doesn't jump in with his own opinions. He just asks questions continuously, and he allows me to talk. And when you allow people to talk, when you allow them to express themselves deeply, they really feel appreciated, they feel important, and they feel heard, which is very valuable as a leader if your people feel heard. And so take the time to one of the things that I, out of that experience, set myself a goal of, I always want to be the person that walks away feeling like I haven't said what I needed to say. Because I want to work so hard at listening to other people and letting them talk about themselves that they may not even get the chance to ask me about myself. That's just, the asking of the questions and the listening deeply. The last thing is this: use their name when you are talking to them. People will be more engaged with you if you use their name. I've mentioned this in other videos too. People hear their name and they immediately want to click into you. Last night I was watching a TV show and my wife asked me, I made some exclamation at something that was happening on TV, and my wife said, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, it's just something on TV." Well, my youngest son came out of his bedroom and he said, "Yes, Dad, what do you need?" And I said, "I didn't call you." And he said, "No, I heard you say my name." And I said, "No, I didn't say your name. I said there was something on TV." And he goes, "Oh, is there somebody on TV named Israel? That's his name." And I said, "No, I didn't say the word Israel." And he goes, "Oh, I thought I heard my name. And so I came out to check if you wanted to talk to me." The moment he heard his name, his ears pricked up and he jumped out of bed. And that's true for anybody. If they hear their name used in conversation or when you're talking to them, you will find that their ears prick up. They listen more intently to you. And it actually shows them that you are engaged with them as well. So skillful listening really is about making it about the other person, really focusing on them, letting them know that you are intently interested in what they are saying. And as you do that, you will find that people become more intently interested in what you have to say as well. So the first one is make eye contact. Second is lean in, use body language that is open. Third is to ask lots of questions, listen to understand, not to reply. And the last is use their name when you respond to them or you communicate with them to show that you have been engaged with them. So that's the art of listening. I hope that was helpful. If you'd like to delve more into leading for success, why don't you check out our course that is linked in the description below. And if you've enjoyed this episode, hit the subscribe button and share it with somebody that you think is going to enjoy it. Until next time, I'm Tarun Stevenson for the Tarun Stevenson Leadership Channel. Bye.